you've forgiven someone. Maybe you wrote them a letter or told them, I forgive you. But sometimes there are still just these little, maybe call them gremlins or demons, just these unresolved thoughts and feelings that just keep popping back up in your life. You want to move forward, but it still feels like somehow you are chained to the past, even though you thought you've forgiven and moved on. So how do you know when you've truly forgiven someone? I can show you how. Join me on the Stairway to Healing. Hi, I'm Italia Oliver, and I'm your guide on the Stairway to Healing, helping you reconnect to yourself. Spirit Song, a collective of angels, ascended masters, spirit guides, multidimensional light beings, and star beings who co-created the Stairway to Healing, ask you to keep an open mind and heart as we go through this series of videos. Spirit Song has asked that these videos appear in the order that you'll receive them for your highest good. They also ask that you trust, with a capital T, this process and allow the unfolding of your soul's evolution, knowing that through these videos, as a transmission, they're working with you in your life, but only if you are willing to do the work necessary. So, how do you know when you've really forgiven somebody? Well, when you truly forgive someone, there's this like alchemical reaction in the energy, so that the energy of any attachment to it is poof, gone. Like for instance, when I forgave my dad, I was no longer tied to the old beliefs, thoughts, and feelings about him. The energetic chains I was holding on to just dissolved. So when memories of his abuse or feelings of abandonment, rejection, and unworthiness showed up in my life through people, I chose peace. So these memories no longer had any power to trigger me. And that's when you know you've truly forgiven someone, when you're not triggered anymore and you just feel at peace. Let me give you an example from my own life. Sometimes when I watched movies, all right, and I saw this like loving father-daughter relationship, like the movie, I don't know, Father of the Bride, it really would make me sad because I wanted that kind of relationship too. But now, things like that, I can watch those things, they don't bother me anymore. I can watch it but be unattached to it. So because I'm really at peace, right? I truly forgave my dad. And also we really have to forgive ourselves. A huge part in knowing that I forgave my dad was that I also could forgive myself. And before, when I thought I forgave him, I still had trouble forgiving me for the choices that I made in my life. But when I truly forgave my dad, I also forgave myself. And I gave myself grace. Now, Spirit Song would like to ask you to do the same, to give yourself the grace that you deserve. They'd like you to answer this question: where have you not forgiven yourself? Now, I've answered this myself because, I really thought it was a great question. And I wrote down the answers, and I'd like to share them with you, my answers, because I thought that it might be helpful for you to give you some ideas. Okay? So here is my list of what I had said about forgiveness for myself, and I forgive myself for. Okay, so each sentence is like a kind of a sentence frame. I started each sentence with that. And this maybe will give you ideas too when you work on answering this question. So I wrote down, I forgive myself for holding on to bitterness, pain, and anger towards my dad. I forgive myself for all of my mistakes and the heartache I caused myself. I forgive myself for not seeing clearly, blinded by emotions. I forgive myself for allowing the opinions of others to control me. I've done that a lot. I forgive myself for allowing others to stomp across my boundaries of respect and love. Done that a lot. I forgive myself for having feelings of unworthiness and shame. Yeah, I really did. I had a lot of feelings of unworthiness and shame before all of this, but now, no more. Very worthy and very feeling of love for myself. I forgive myself for not loving myself as much as I could have. I forgive myself for not seeing the beauty of my soul. I heal, forgive, release, and I let go. So that was my list. That was my, when I really sat down and was, just honest with myself about what I needed to forgive in myself and where I had not forgiven myself. And it was really a great question for me to explore that and to really focus on, these areas. And I hope that it could be helpful for you as well. And also just please speak lovingly to yourself. Give yourself grace, Sometimes I'll say to myself, or you could say to yourself, hey, I'm human. I did the best that I could with what I knew at the time. I forgive myself. You can only, and then you get up and you move on, right? And this is where forgiveness can be very healing and save us. And, as a side note, it's kind of funny because these synchronistic things that happen, when I was done writing the notes for this video, my son had come into the room and asked me, hey, did you, and this has been months now, but for whatever reason, it was right at that exact moment when I finished writing these notes. And he says, hey, did you ever fix Grandpa's bracelet? Because my son has this 18 karat gold bracelet that was from my dad, and he was wearing it a lot, and it broke, and I hadn't gone to get it fixed for a while and kind of just forgot about it and all that. And then and I finally did get it fixed a couple weeks ago, but I forgot to tell my son about it. And the moment I was done literally writing the notes for this video, Josiah, my son, he comes in and he says, Mom, do you have Grandpa's bracelet? And I was just like, oh my God, this is such a sign, synchronicity, that my dad, it's validation for this idea of forgiveness and these videos and doing that. So to me, it was sort of like that hello from heaven, that yes, forgiveness is everything, in that. And so, so I ended up giving my son his bracelet, and I just said, thanks, Dad, thanks for being a part of this. Thanks for being a part of the Stairway to Healing. But it's these synchronicities, our loved ones do speak to us from the other side in these ways and at those times. And so forgiveness, really, it's something that you could work on. And this was really helpful for me as well, just doing that. So if you liked this video, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe and share. It really, really helps me. And if you haven't already, please be sure to check out that 2-part introduction as well as episodes 3 through 9 now in the Stairway to Healing series. So join me in the next video in the Stairway to Healing.